How I Met Your Mother ran on CBS for 9 seasons, most of which were well-liked, except for one apocalyptically poorly received finale. But the legend, wait for it, Ari, Barney Stinson, the pop culture expert on the show, may have prophesied Cobra Kai, a fan favorite on Netflix now. So today we're going to discuss how Cobra Kai was possibly brought to life by How I Met Your Mother and talk about every How I Met Your Mother episode Cobra Kai's William Zabka appears in, starting off with Barney's love for the Karate Kid. It's safe to say that Barney's love of the Karate Kid gave the people who made Cobra Kai the chance they needed to make the show. In a season 4 episode, it's shown that Barney's interest in pop culture goes way back to his childhood with his single mother, Loretta, in a small house. And here the show sets up what would become a running joke about Johnny Lawrence in The Karate Kid. It also unintentionally made the TV scene ready for the arrival of Cobra Kai, but we'll get to that in a while. Then in the 15th episode of season 4, we see the group visiting Barney's old house just outside the city and Marshall admiring the Karate Kid poster on the wall above Barney's bed. Then Barney starts talking about how Karate Kid is a great movie and starts laying down the whole plot of the story like the fanboy he is, and ends his monologue with, of course that nerd kid beats him in the final round, but he learns a valuable lesson about accepting defeat with grace. Lily then asks Barney if he has things mixed up, and does he really want the bad guy, Johnny Lawrence, to win in Karate Kid? Barney arrogantly replies that he cheers for the skinny loser from New Jersey who doesn't know much about karate, and clarifies that he cheers for the Karate Kid when he watches The Karate Kid. Well, that makes sense. Followed by William Zabka's role in How I Met Your Mother. From that point on, Barney's love for William Zabka's Johnny Lawrence and his sincere belief that he's the real hero of the Karate Kid became a running joke on How I Met Your Mother. In the season 8 episode The Bro Mitzvah, William Zabka and Ralph Macchio show up as themselves. Then in the show's last season, Zabka becomes more of a supporting character as he shows up in 6 episodes as a guest at Barney's wedding, which lasts the whole season. And we think the joke works mainly because Barney always remains the same. Of course, he would feel bad for the bad guy in a movie, since even Barney's best friends would say that he's basically a bad guy himself. But in reality, Barney is a selfish jerk who loves beautiful women, custom suits, and power more than anything else. As the show continues and Zabka shows up more often, the joke starts to get a different meaning. On top of that, Johnny Lawrence might not have been so bad after all. He's just like any other movie hero in that he has dreams and moxie, as Barney puts it. And in the end, he learns an important lesson about accepting defeat with grace. Next up, how Barney's obsession comes to play in How I Met Your Mother. People say winners write history, and we saw Daniel LaRusso, played by Ralph Macchio, winning the Karate Kid movie series. But from Johnny's point of view, who did just as much training as Daniel, wouldn't things look very different? And is it really his fault that Daniel was taught by the kind and humble Mr. Miyagi instead of the strict and cunning John Kreese? We think that's why Barney's obsession with Johnny Lawrence works as a joke and a way to build his character on HIMYM. It's the same idea that would eventually lead to the creation of Cobra Kai and its success. For what it's worth, the people who made Cobra Kai knew about How I Met Your Mother Johnny Lawrence joke, but they say it didn't have much of an effect on how they made the show other than making them feel like other people saw what they saw. And even though William Zabka's time on How I Met Your Mother didn't really lead to Cobra Kai's creation, we think it served as a good reminder that sometimes an idea is too good not to pursue. Moving on to every How I Met Your Mother episode William Zabka appears in. First up, season 8 episode 22, The Bro Mitzvah. In this episode, Robin plans Barney's bachelor party without him knowing, and she wants to give him everything he wants. Barney didn't really think of Macchio as the Karate Kid, so inviting him to the party was a big part of what they did. And when Barney found out that Robin had been sneaky, he thought it was funny and fell in love with her even more. But he was kinda bummed out that his real childhood hero hadn't shown up as he'd always hoped. But the best part of the night was the party clown, who had been hired to follow them around all night. It turns out to be Zabka himself when he took off his costume. He praised Barney as one of the few people who really get the Karate Kid movie, and he did this while wearing his full Cobra Kai costume. That sounds so special. Coming up, season 9 episode 4 and 5. Barney was angry when he found out that Ted still liked Robin and had broken the bro code by doing so he took Ted off the list of best men for his wedding. But he didn't find out about this until he had to do some embarrassing things and discovered that the pre-wedding poker game was going on without him. And when he asked what was going on, Barney told him that the best man had moved the time up because he was the best around. At that moment, Zabka turned around and admitted that he had taken the slot, and when Ted and Barney got over their differences and made up, the decision was changed. Zabka immediately vowed to get back at Mosby, saying angrily, "I'm coming for you, Mosby," in full Cobra Kai style. Then in episode 5, the poker game kept going where the last episode left off, with Zabka still there. The actor is also there when Robin wins Barney's brother James's wedding ring and Barney's mother Loretta's blouse. And when Barney and Robin started to fight about it, Zabka, Lily, and Ranjit seemed to leave the room. Soon, though, it became clear that all three of them had just hidden somewhere in the room to listen in. Zabka was the last one to come out from behind the sofa cushions. He then left for good to help Lily talk to an old friend who had taken credit for Ted's wedding gift. Not to mention, Season 9, Episode 10, Mom and Dad. After Barney gave Ted a signed photo of Wayne Gretzky for Robin to keep safe, the photo got covered in ink, and when Ted became Detective Mosby, he decided that Zabka was his main suspect. At first, the Cobra Kai actor gave an alibi that seemed pretty good, but as Ted and Lily looked into it more, they discovered it was a trick and that Zabka was the one who did it. He quickly admitted to the sabotage, or Zabkatage as Ted called it. Then later in the episode, Zabka talked about his life since 1984 and said that everywhere he goes, people boo him and throw popcorn at him. In the end, Ted let Zabka say that he was the one who replaced the picture and saved the day, and the move made Zabka say, "You're okay, Mosby," a play on his famous last line from The Karate Kid. Now for Season 9, Episode 20, Daisy. After getting into a fight with Lily, Marshall couldn't figure out where she went for 3 hours. Marshall also asked her why she had changed her mind about moving to Italy while having breakfast with Ted and Barney. Also, there were Zabka and Ranjit, and in fact, Zabka gave Marshall his first clue when he said he'd seen Lily outside of a store at 3 a.m. before she got into a car owned by the captain. Then Zabka and the rest of the gang drove to help Marshall face him, and to their surprise, he was still there when Detective Mosby returned and wrongly said that he had solved the mystery. Up next, Season 9, Episode 21, Gary Blauman. Ted told Tracy McConnell about Gary Blauman while they were on a date, and after he shows up at Barney and Robin's wedding out of the blue, the group is split on whether to make room for him or ask him to leave. Ted and Barney were very against him staying, but Lily was all for it. Marshall was the judge, and the three people said why they either liked or disliked Blauman, but Zabka quickly spoke up when he heard the name, and when he joined Lily's side, he said that he too loved Blauman. Even though Zabka had only met Blauman 10 minutes before, he was moved by the fact that Blauman knew him from his poetry and not from The Karate Kid. In the episode, Barney talks about the movie and threatens to have Zabka kick Blauman in the face with a crane kick, and at the end of the episode, it was revealed that Zabka would go on to win the American Humanities Medal for literature. That's beautiful. Lastly, Season 9, Episode 22, The End of the Aisle. This was Zabka's last appearance in the episode right before the controversial two-part finale of How I Met Your Mother. Barney and Robin finally got married after Barney got cold feet and Robin had a panic attack, and as they exchanged rings and vows, some of the people in the crowd who had been there before could be seen. One of them was Zabka with a smile, who was only in the scene for a few seconds. We also learned what happened to the regular side characters in the last episode, so a quick look was all that was needed to put an end to the different paths of the wedding story. Overall, we think Zabka's journey through the show supports the idea that How I Met Your Mother directly influenced the making of the Karate Kid sequel. After all, Zabka did everything he did to get out from under the shadow of being seen as a bad guy, and the theme of the path is the same as the path that Johnny Lawrence would walk years later. On top of that, both shows have a lot of funny and dramatic parts, and they both show off Zabka's skills. And since then, fans have made it clear that they want to see the other side of the meta coin and have Harris play a role on Cobra Kai. A surprise cameo maybe? That's all for this video. What are your thoughts on Barney Stinson prophesizing Cobra Kai? Let us know in the comments below. Remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.